Hey there. Thought it'd be kind of fun to show you a little something that you can do with real data. We'll grab some real data from Bitcoin, and I'll show you 3 different ways that you can plug this data right into ChatGPT and get some great results. You can get this kind of data anywhere. Right now I'm using Yahoo Finance just because it was easy and it was one of the first things that popped up for me. You can go to any ticker symbol you want and look at historical data. And all you have to do is take a look at the data that's here. And why don't we grab a week's worth? Oops, I only want a week. And I'm just going to Control C, and we'll paste that in and show you some results. So back in ChatGPT, you want to make sure that your prompt is explaining well what you want to do. In this case, we just want to chart the data. So I would like to chart Bitcoin data below using manual charting and no special functions. In trying to do this before in a warm-up, it ran into some problems when I just said chart this data. It tried to use all kinds of math libraries and specialty functions and that weren't always possible in the back end. Oh, I need to change this. Make sure that it's GPT-4 and advanced data analysis. Okay, that's how you're going to get your charting. So then it says, I'd like to chart the data below. You literally just paste in the data as is, right? I'm not formatting it. I'm not doing anything. I literally just pasted that data that I cut earlier. And let's see what it does. So what this one is doing, and this wasn't what happened in my warm-up, but it basically said, I can create a line chart for you. Which is fine. It's giving me a little bit of information. It's saying that I understand what the data is. And that's fine. We'll let it do its thing. This can take a couple minutes. I might speed this up for you. We'll see. Okay, it's finished working and it put together this chart. So just so you're aware, I paused the recording here and it took another 1.5 to 2 minutes to begin generating what you're seeing here. Not the easiest chart to look at, but it does have some useful information. And what you can also do from here is say, now show it a candlestick chart, which is going to be easier to do. Now, I don't know how long this is going to take. I may end up pausing this one as well. I wish it didn't have to do all this. I should have said into my prompt not to have description, just the chart. But it's just trying to be helpful. And that one took about 30 to 45 seconds. Oh, see, and this is, yeah, the manual approach. That worked really well in my testing. You have to be careful with what it's trying to do. I'm just going to do a quick sidebar here because it's showing it. Notice that it's simply creating Python code and trying to run it, and it's getting an error running its own Python code. That is going to happen quite a bit for you, okay? So when you're in this data analysis, it's going to be writing this Python code, which is all of what's happening back in here in these bars. And it's going to try to execute it, but the Python code that it generates is based on text completion. So it's based on what it finds out in the wild, which may or may not work because of the additional data libraries and things that are necessary to let the code work. But ta-ta, there we go. Okay, stop generating. So basically, now we can look at this and say, Bitcoin jumped up today. Cool. Maybe it's on an upswing. Personally, I think it is. I think it's going to 30. But anyway, we'll see if that works out. So that's one way of using that data. Okay, we cut and paste this data in and said chart it. So the data is what you're working with. So let's look at this a different way. I have the following Bitcoin historical data. Give me a paragraph about the history of Bitcoin. Then present this data in a table at the bottom of the results. Let's see what it can do. So now what we're doing is we're saying, do your text thing that you normally do and use this data to supplement it. And it'll put it as a table. Oh, look at that. It even put a line in that said, hey, in that data, it went and did this. And now it's just going to build this table for you, I hope. Hopefully all that works out. I don't know what that's actually doing right now. It's hard to read on your side, I'm sure, but it's basically coming out with table code. We'll just let it run for a second here. But now what I want you to notice is that it's taken text that it generated and put this table of actual data at the bottom, and it's all based on the prompt. So in the first prompt, we said, use this data and chart it. So the data is the prompt, is the result. In this, we're saying it's supplemental to whatever it is you're going to generate. It did throw in a line of generation about the data, but it isn't about the data. It's about Bitcoin or whatever it is. This is just data that we're using to supplement. So I want you to think about it that way. You can use real-time data. Oh, nice. It did. Wow, old school font and everything. Pretty slick. So you get your generated text and your table. All right, the third way we're going to do it is I have a set of Bitcoin, oops, you to analyze and um, so what I've said there, just want you to notice something. Basically, determine if you think the price is going up or down based on the values I provide. It's okay to guess. This is just for fun. The reason why I put that in is because medical data, personal data, financial data, as far as trading goes and things like that. ChatGPT, the way it's built with the GPT engine, it doesn't like to give advice in that way. And so it would throw additional pieces. It might even put an obstacle in the way that you have to kind of overcome to actually get what you want out of it. If you say it's just for fun, then it tends to give you a response. We'll see. So what we're doing now is we're saying use this data and generate text around it. Let's see what it can do. So for some reason, this session has been pretty chatty. I don't know why. Sometimes it is and sometimes it isn't. You can always update your prompt to simply say, to not be so chatty, just provide X amount of information or don't provide this other type of information. All right, there you go. Cool. Basically, all we really needed was this. But notice we've now used that data. You're not seeing the data here. It did say a particular date was notably high. Increasing volume in subsequent days may suggest sustained interest. And so it is giving you some sort of trending information. So that means you can take real data and say, analyze it. Give me sentiment, give me direction, whatever it might be. And we've done that. So it says it's on an upward trajectory based on the data that we provided. But again, you know, here we go. Like I said, volatile, consult with professionals, all that stuff. But I think if I had not put in that thing about just having fun, it would have extended on this quite a bit more, and really been aggravating. But there you have it. So think about that when you've got real-time data. And again, this is all cut and paste. There are other things you can do with plugins and whatnot, and live data on spreadsheets. But if you've got data that you just want to analyze in different ways, you can either chart it as is, you can have it supplementary information along with other things that you're talking about, or you can actually have it analyze that raw data and come up with text itself. Pretty cool stuff, and I hope that's helped. And we'll keep digging in with some more real-time data.